Hi there, I'm Tiffani Helberg. Thank you for joining us for another edition of ChamberSOUTH Spotlight. I am a proud board member at the Chamber and the Vice President of Communications at Community Health of South Florida. And I'm really excited today because I get to talk with Michael Joseph. He is the Business Development Manager at the Dade County Federal Credit Union. Thank you for joining me, Michael.
Thank you so much for having me today.
So I'm going to tell y'all a secret that for years I knew his dad when I was a reporter at Channel 4, and I would go interview him. So when they told me that I'm interviewing Michael today, I kept insisting that they got it wrong.
It's a blessing and a curse. That's that last name. It's a wonderful thing. Big shoes to fill.
Yes. Well, rise up, yeah. And as I'm sure you will.
Yeah, and I continue to. I think that with our involvement in the community, I'm blessed to be working with such a great organization and have a wonderful supportive team that we can be everywhere in the community and support all these local organizations.
You guys do a lot of great stuff, but let's start with you, Michael. I want to know who you are. Tell us about you.
Well, it all started, no, I'm just playing. I was born and raised down here in Miami-Dade. Love being a resident here, lots of different culture and food. My mom was born here, but both of her parents are Cuban, while my father was born in Trinidad and both of his parents are Lebanese. So born and raised down here, went to school, everything from middle school, elementary to high school, and graduated at Miami-Dade. Logistics background, so efficiencies, keeping it, doing it right the first time, I guess would be the right verbiage. Mm-hmm. Started with the credit union about almost 5 years ago, but I've been in finance for about 10 and loving every moment of it. I can tell you there's always something new to learn. And at the moment, I currently sit on the board of the Lucy Project. It's a local nonprofit, the Salvation Army Miami, and the LSCU Southernmost chapter of credit unions.
That's tremendous. Great. So you have some new stuff coming on the pike with the credit union. Tell us about that.
Well, drum roll. We have our car sale coming up.
Yay!
It should be May 1st and 2nd. It's at our main branch, conveniently located right in front of International Mall. New and used cars. It's a great event. We do them annually. I can tell you competitive rates. The sticker that you see on the vehicle, that orange tag, is the price of the vehicle. So whether you're a member or not, we highly recommend that you come out. If you find something you're looking for that same day, we can open membership, handle the trade-in, find that new or used vehicle for you with very, very competitive rates.
And your financing is much different than a regular bank, right? Explain that.
Well, so credit unions in general are regulated by the NCUA, while banks are regulated by the FDIC. So generally, you'll find very competitive rates across the board with credit unions, particularly down here. I always tell members or potential members, whether indirectly or directly, chances are you're going to end up going with us because some of our rates, meaning indirectly, you go to a dealer and they run it and they have different options, will be one of those very competitive options. Or even if you come to a car sale or go directly to our Dade team that works year round to find members' cars, those rates that we provide are very, very competitive.
So talk about that. I think that's really interesting. You call it Dade team?
Yeah, sure.
But they help you buy a car, right?
Yes, yeah. So it stands for Dade Auto Desk.
Oh, okay.
So they've been the manager of the department's found, and I have to always tell people that it's 6 of my 7 cars. I tell them I'm not a bad driver. I just upgraded. Have come through this individual. His name is Damar. He's been running the department for quite some time. And in short, the reason I'm not too fond of having to go back and forth. I'd prefer to just tell someone what I want and they provide me with the specifics. That's the pain point that they resolve. They've been doing this for over 20 years. And fun fact, I used to work with the team for a little bit, and we would help find members cars, whether it's new or used. Some people are incredibly specific about what they're looking for, while others are just, I need something to get me from A to B with some AC. So yeah. It's a unique experience. We help them alleviate that pain of having to go directly to a dealer. We can deliver the vehicle to their home, work, or branch, on average saving them a couple $1,000s in haggling.
Let me tell you, I used it years ago.
You did?
Yeah, I hate car shopping, especially as a woman. If I can tell someone, look, help me do this, and they go and do it, that's like manna from heaven.
One-stop shop. And
yeah,
I always tell individuals, I'm like, the benefit to that is they're just an extra set of eyes. At least how whatever option you pursue, that you have another team that's looking out for you.
That's cool. Okay, so you've got your car show, you've got competitive rates. What else? You're expanding your services, right?
Another drum roll. Yes. So we were established 1939, backtracking a little bit. I think it was like $135, 10 county employees. And we started with just serving those county employees. And you fast forward to today, and we're a $1 billion credit union, serving anybody that lives, works, worships, or goes to school in Dade or now Broward County. So it's very simple. You can visit one of our branches, do it online, or visit, like I said, that upcoming branch in Pembroke Pines. So it's exciting news.
And you even have a mobile unit, right?
Yes. Yeah, I know I briefly mentioned it.
That's cool.
But it's unique. In the end of the day, there are some times that local organizations host events, and a pain point or frustration we've seen is only allowing, cash or having a square may be good, but lines are long. So we bring this mobile branch out that has an ATM, and it allows members and other individuals to withdraw cash. So it's convenient.
That's cool. So explain to people what's different about the credit union if they're thinking about banking with you versus one of the big banks that they know.
That's a good question. I always tell people, member-centric. Credit unions in general, they're people helping people. We like to make sure we're looking out for their best interests. If I remember correctly, I think Roosevelt was one of the ones that initiated it back in, I don't want to quote the year. I know it originated in Germany, but when they brought it over, the purpose was, like I said, to help a union of credit to help individuals borrow. So you'll find that there's lots of different local organizations, some larger than others, that just offer competitive rates on loans. So whether it's a credit card, a car, a mortgage, they're looking out for you and offering, competitive benefits. So that's one of them. And I think they're not looking out for the big banks are looking out for the benefit of the major stakeholders, while every member at a credit union has an equal stake in membership. So regardless of the amount you have say in what the mission is. So
that's interesting. You also mentioned mortgages. I'm also a realtor at Berkshire Hathaway, EWM.
Okay.
Shameless plug there. But the housing market is in a strange place right now. How can the credit union help people who are first-time home buyers or people who are just trying to get a competitive rate?
So we do offer numerous benefits. One of them is not only home equity line of credits, and I know that we also offer mortgages as well, refinancing. I think if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to go into too much detail, but I do believe that we have a promotion right now for first-time home buyers. It's available online with a specific individual email that you can ask more questions. I don't have my NMLS
No, that's
license,
okay,
so
but it's good to know. They can go online and find all the info.
In general, it's rough. I think down here, in general, around the world, let alone the United States or Miami, I think it's flooding down here with people that are in. It's not just the weather, but it's the food, the culture, the community. So I wish I had the benefit of being like a weather forecaster, being able to tell you, this is where we're headed or not. But I think it's just making sure that, you're living within your means, not outside of your budget. So not buying the Ferrari or the 5-bedroom, 3-bath.
Which is very Miami, right?
Which is very, very Miami. There's different ways to pursue buying or leasing properties, but making sure you do your due diligence is just, and staying within your budget are those two things I would recommend.
That's good financial advice. What about in this economy? what guidance do you have for people on saving?
That one, how long do you have here? There's lots of different ways. I tell people, I don't remember who it was. It was probably some philosopher, but and I took it from my older brother. The verbiage is eat the frog, meaning in the morning, the thing you hate doing the most, knock it out. So I constantly am asked, what is the best method for budgeting? And I tell people it's imperative that you do that. View your savings as an asset, view yourself as a company. But they ask me, what's the best way to do it? And I find that the best way to do it is the most convenient for you. So there are apps you could use. For me, I personally use an Excel doc with my wife. And I find the benefit of that is not only because I'm familiar with it, but Excel, but once I've put a couple hours into it, all I have to do is copy and paste the tab, and I just got Netflix this month, and or I just removed this account. It helps me stay within my means. So that's one way of doing it. If you're not checking your statements, your credit card statements on a monthly basis, just like a credit score, I do highly recommend that. It's like the gym. Those days you don't want to go are those days you have to go. So budgeting is key. I think in the end of the day, living within your means, putting a little bit away from every paycheck is critical. I don't remember where I learned it, but a pedestal is what I tell people is, if you want to live this lifestyle, you can't just depend on Social Security in the future. Have a 401k, a Roth IRA, invest. There's many different ways to make sure you keep yourself afloat.
Sure. And what can you tell us about building back up your credit score?
Oh, again, oh man, there's lots of different ways to do it. I think consistency is key. And the analogy I give people is we're kind of like goalies. The second one ball gets past you, everybody notices. You blocked 1,000 shots. You're on time with 1,000 payments, but the one time you miss one, it drops significantly. So just auto pay, at least minimum auto pay, to make sure you avoid that issue. Keeping your oldest line of credit is another thing. Making sure you're viewing it off, not hard pools, but like using an app like Credit Karma would be beneficial. It's an indicator as well. It's not the answer, but it is an indicator in the event you dropped a whole bunch of points and you didn't apply for a credit card, a house, or a car. It helps you be proactive if someone, God forbid, stole your identity. So there's lots of different ways to improve credit. Those three major credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, just making sure that your purchases are being reported to them is very important. You don't have to add. The common misconception that everybody has is, I need to have some credit cards and use them a lot so that I can build my credit. And I say, no, just make sure that you're paying them off on a timely basis. Whether or not you're paying them off or not is good, but just on-time payments is the key.
Right. Okay. Solid advice from our financial guru here. I like it. So tell me, how big is Dade County Federal Credit Union now? How many employees do you have?
So I'd say we have about 200, a little more than 250 employees, roughly 100, a little more than 100,000 members. And our asset size is a little bit over $1 billion. So 1.2, I think, 1.25.
That's great. I think a lot of businesses today are struggling with retention. What's it like in banking?
Thankfully, if you asked me this question 2-3 years ago, I would have had a different answer. Right now, things are looking promising. Things have been better than they were a year ago. The pandemic was a wrench. I think that caused a little bit of chaos for everybody across different industries.
Yeah.
Particularly with my team, we work so heavily with other organizations that we saw it. It was a pain point a lot of the human resources teams had. So the benefit of what we do is, by offering this financial education to the community, we make it clear to them, no, you don't need a second job. You just need to live within your means. Buy in bulk rather than buying an impulse, sleeping on it. Like, credit cards can be a good thing and they can be a bad thing.
Of course. Yeah. In this instantaneous world, right?
instant. It's a click away from a purchase. It makes things all too convenient.
So Chamber South is made of business leaders. What services and programs do you have for businesses?
Thank you for asking. We have small business loans. We have the Rise and Payday program. The Rise program is centered on small businesses, mom and pop businesses based in Dade. I believe it's you can borrow up to $75,000. We have more information and details as to why and how one can qualify online with a video, and we've been doing it for some time now. So I would highly recommend for those local small businesses to take a look at that one. And then the Payday loan that we offer are for organizations that are stuck in that payday cycle, and it helps them prevent them to continue to stay in that cycle.
Cool. So what haven't we talked about that already that you want to mention?
Well, financial education, I think community service in general, knowing that we're here to support those small businesses, with whatever program or product we have is one thing, but to come out and provide financial education and collaborate with them on different projects and ways we can support. We are very community oriented. So finding different ways that we can continue to make this the #1 county is the goal.
2 counties now.
2 counties. 2 counties, yes.
Yeah.
The #1 South, let's make it the #1 South Florida region. And I guess in Miami. That would be the.
Love it. All right. My guy, Michael Joseph. Love it. I'm so happy to meet with you, happy to sit with you and learn about you and more about the credit union. And thank you all for joining us today. I hope that you'll continue to watch, and I hope that you will join us at some of our networkers at Chamber South. We have a luncheon coming up. We have network at night events, and it really is a great time to meet new business leaders and get to know them and have them learn about your business. Thanks for watching.